Good morning. It is a beautiful day here in Central Texas, and the forecasts tell us that there are no more freezing temperatures coming. So, of course, I had to run out to the garden center and I found some beautiful things to liven up these pots. I have one on either side, and it's time to fill them with some beautiful, happy yellow and whites and purples, which are my favorite colors. And so let me show you what I picked up. So they have lots of beautiful flowers that are more appropriate for winter sowing. They have pansies, violas, they have snapdragons, and they're very tempting to grab those kinds of flowers. They're all over the nurseries right now. But here in Central Texas, we only have two seasons. We have before the heat and after the heat. And so our high today is going to be 80 as it was yesterday. And I know that those plants would be very short lived in these pots. So instead of those, I had to dig a little deeper and I found some things that take full sun and some full heat. So I got a type of a daisy. So this one will be really nice. This is going to be, so I follow the old adage, when you fill a pot, you have your thriller, which is your tall, your filler, which is your middle, and your spiller. So this is going to be my tall, my thriller. And this one will go right in the middle. And then my fillers, I have two kinds of fillers. So I got dianthus, and dianthus is tough and can make it into the warmer months. And I got lobelia. So both of these are nice and long lasting into the summer. And then I have some ivy that will be my spiller, and that was left over from last year's pot. So let's get planting and see what we can create here. I can't wait to have these pots filled with cheery flowers that are going to just make me smile as I enter and exit my front door every day. So I thought I'd show you what I took out of the pot. This was in my black pots by the front door most of January and February. So we had a predicted freeze, and I pulled all of the things in these black pots out and I put them in a plastic nursery pot and brought them into the garage so they wouldn't die. And I'm going to show them to you right now. So in the pots is a salvia, kind of a red salvia. There's some cyclamen, and there's some of this ivy. Well, I want to save the ivy. I'm going to put the salvia in the ground, and then these cyclamen, they are not going to enjoy the heat, and they aren't. So what I'm going to do with these cyclamen is I'm just going to put them in a pot and bring them in the house and use them as a house plant for a while. So I thought I'd show you how I separate these and reuse everything. You just tip your pot over, and I'm doing this in a garden so that all of this dirt won't make a mess, and kind of shake everything. See what I can get a hold of here. Okay, so here is my ivy, and I'm just going to put this into my new arrangement. Set that over here. And then my cyclamen, there should be two here. And I don't know if they're going to make it, but I'm going to go ahead and put them in a pot and bring them indoors. I've got 4 of these. And then this guy is doing great. This is a nice little salvia, and I am going to put this out in my yard, and I think it will just continue growing. And I was able to reuse things that I put in pots just for decoration and put them out in my garden and keep them for years and years. So I've dug a hole right here in a nice area of the garden that could certainly use some color, and I'm going to pop this salvia in and give it a little fertilizer, and it should be really happy here in its new location. It can spread its roots, and I'll keep it well watered. Okay. Now I'll do the other pot. Okay, so let's fill this up with some beautiful flowers. We'll start with our thriller, and I think I'm going to need to raise up the level of soil a little bit. I've got my potting soil right here next to me, and we just gently pop off the pot. Oh, look at all those good roots. So I'm going to kind of tickle these a little bit. I don't want them to go in a circle. I want them to go kind of spread out, outward spread. There we go. Now, I'm going to pop that right here. And I think I'm going to do it towards the back a little bit. And this one I happened to find had lots of new buds that hadn't opened up yet. So I think that's going to look really pretty. And then we'll put in 2 dianthus and 2 lobelia. Okay, one there and one here. This one wasn't nearly as compacted. Okay, you can be here. And then I'll put the lobelias in between those. Well, look at all of those roots. So you just want to flare them out instead of flaring them in, so they'll continue to grow outward. And that's going to need to be a little higher. It's kind of short. To remember to leave room for my spiller. I just love purples and whites and yellows together. I think they look so great. Let's get our ivy in here before I forget. Oh yeah, that ivy is just great. Now I'll have to get back and look at that before I finish packing it with dirt. Awesome. Okay, and I can fiddle with the placement a little bit, and then I'll just backfill this with dirt. Isn't that beautiful? And in no time at all, it'll just get more full and lush, and I will come in about every 2 weeks with some flower fertilizer. And I think it's just going to be gorgeous. I'm so glad I did this. Okay, I've got them all planted, and I'm going to water them in well, and anywhere that the dirt sinks in, that's telling me I didn't get the soil packed in tight enough, and I will immediately fill in any areas that need more soil, because you don't want the roots to not be in contact with plenty of soil. So I just think they are fabulous, and they're going to get more and more full and filled out, and I will keep fertilizing every 2 weeks. I use the Espoma plant tone or the Nelson's flower fertilizer, Microlife plant fertilizer. There's so many good organics that don't burn your plants. So that's my plan going forward, and I really think this is lovely. I want to show you what's happening in the backyard with my tulips. So I'm happy to announce that every one of my water jug gardens is producing little tiny babies. It's so exciting. So I am going to have so many new perennials to put out in this beautiful garden I have. This is Black-Eyed Susan. That's pink gomphrena down in there. That's blanket flower, one or two in there. So I thought I'd show you the last of the daffodils. There's one, and then all of the rest are expired. And if we go down this way, I've got about 5 left here, but they're so pretty and they've done such a great job. And then this, let me get down in here and show you. This is a new thing. If I pull this weed, this is Squilla, and it is a bulb that I planted that Garden Blends suggested that this would be a nice complement to the daffodils. And they're really tiny, but I think they're very sweet, and maybe next year they'll be bigger. In the photograph, they show these to be a lot more green and taller, so we'll see. I only have a few that have come up. I planted like 50 of them. But if you look down here, there's a daffodil. My irises are starting to get more green instead of that winter gray. And here's a pretty one. But most of them look like this. And there's not much to be done. You just need to pop that off. You get the little seed head off also. And then you won't get another bloom. They'll just eventually just kind of die back, and you're not supposed to touch them because you want the green to absorb all the nutrients back into the bulb. So you're just supposed to leave it alone, which is not a problem for me. This is my daylilies. Look how quickly they've come back. There was nothing there, and now it's a nice little mound. And this is skullcap that needs a big haircut. And more skullcap and more. Look, there's an iris. Look at that. It's the very first iris of the spring. Yay! This is what's so fun about gardening. They're beautiful purple irises that a neighbor shared with me. And then here's some more beautiful daffodils. Aren't they the prettiest things? This was a twin. And this was a twin. And then the last one. All right, let's keep walking down, and I'm going to show you the tulips. Okay, we're walking up to the tulip bed. Can you see them? Some of the peach colored ones are opening first. Oh, they're so pretty. And there's some buds just about to open up. And if I go over to this one, I've got a pink one. Oh, I can't wait. And all the rest are still holding on. Looks like I might have a really pretty one here. And when I purchased these, I purchased early bloomers, mid bloomers, and late bloomers so that this could have the longest show of tulips possible. And so it lasts for about a month, and I just absolutely love it. So I'm going to be setting up a table over here and having grandkids over for pictures and friends over for maybe, cake and tea, and just enjoy these tulips as much as I possibly can. Another thing I wanted to show you was my oak leaf hydrangea. So we can't grow those gorgeous hydrangeas they have in the South because we don't have the acidic soil that hydrangeas love. But we can grow a kind of a modified version. This is oak leaf hydrangea, and these are, I guess it gets that name because of the brownish leaves, but this is so covered with little new buds. And I'll continue to show you this. This doesn't look like much of anything right now, but it does get those big white beautiful flowers, the kind that are covered with all the little white buds all over it. So as this gets more and more filled out, I'll continue to show you. But look how pretty. It's just covered with buds. And it is not nearly as showy as this southern hydrangeas, but this oak leaf hydrangea is still can make a beautiful, beautiful plant. And I only bought one. This is its third year. And I'm sorry I only bought one because I wasn't sure if it was going to do much. But I do feel like it is a nice addition to the garden. So I plan to get some more, or maybe even try to propagate this. So thank you so much for watching my videos this morning. I hope you get a chance to get out to the garden centers. There's so much there right now. There's so much inspiration for putting things in pots. And again, you can just reuse them and plant them out in your gardens if you choose the right things. So I hope you get a chance to get out in your garden today. Have a wonderful morning. Bye-bye.